inspiring. Right now, we can take 2 quick questions from the audience to our speakers. Who would like to go first? There's one down in the front here. Please, can you bring the microphone to Johnny Edmonds?
Peter, I've just got a question for you. Johnny Edmonds from Waitalk. You referred to the National Landscapes program, which I think Indigenous tourism within Australia is sort of looking for some great opportunities to realise on the potential that you referred to with National Landscapes. If you had to point to one of our National Landscapes area where that the potential for Indigenous tourism participation is showing through, is there one that you might be able to alert us to? Because we are looking closely at these areas to see how that success is actually able to, or how that potential is actually able to translate into practical benefits.
Is this working? That's a great question, John. Probably the Red Centre, partly, well, in large part actually because of the collaborations and partnerships that are now strengthening amongst all the players. When we first started this, we found that there are a lot of things happening but independently from various organisations, and I can say that we were part of that as well. So the landscapes approach has brought everyone together. We are working now much more coherently and in a complementary way. So from land councils to the NT, to the federal government and other operators. The working together element is, I think, quite strong here. Red Centre. Having said that, there are great opportunities. There was a question earlier about Western Victoria, and there's the Great Ocean Road National Landscape has the potential to provide that linking and integrating factor there. There's a range of exciting Indigenous businesses down there and great opportunity. There's some world-class, some extraordinary things and extraordinary stories that people can see and experience in Victoria, and the landscape provides an opportunity. As I said, our major aim at the moment is to try to consolidate and build some depth in that, not do more. It's a long answer to your question, but probably the Red Centre.
Thank you. And one question over here, is there?
Yep. Hi Peter,
Hello.
I'm Neville Polina from the Kimberley Regions, Fitzroy River, Yugonawamba. I don't know if I've got a question here or I just want to make a statement. Like, this national landscape, I think, is a fantastic idea, you know, and I appreciate your talk just then. But as I travel around Australia and I listen to traditional owners in their country, there's something missing in all of that, and that's the shoulder to shoulder in this, walking shoulder to shoulder in this, in these things now. I mean, we as Indigenous people and non-Indigenous people in this country, we need to form these partnerships together because neither one of us can survive without the other. But when you come to these taking over, you know, like native title, people fight for their land, they get their land, and then all of a sudden there's a blanket put over a piece of their land, and they're back down to square one again. They're not on a level playing field. There's a few people in this conference today that are in that situation. They try to set up a lifestyle on their land, and just as this ball starts rolling for them, someone else comes in and takes over, or the worst part is they bring in a non-Indigenous person to manage that land. And the best way I could say it is you can't fit a square in a circle. Meaning that people need to come on the land and take cultural awareness from these people first to understand how they tick. Because the way I feel and think and talk and speak about my country is totally different to my brothers in Victoria. They have different protocols. We're not one Aboriginal people here. We are like Europe. You know, many languages. I mean, through the Alliance, I was talking the other day, if you take the Maori people, they only have one language, so for me it was easy to have a listen to them and enjoy how it was. But I think that the partnership is what really needs to be a little bit more, needs to be put into the partnership role. You know, I mean, you get DEC in my country, in Western Australia, you get DEC officers, and all of a sudden they make the traditional owner feel really, really small there. You know, they make them feel like it's now their land again, not the people who just fought through native title to get their land back. So one of the things that I guess I'm saying is, when we try to pull this thing together, we really need to be aware that these people still have a 50%, if not more, partnership role in this thing, because without the traditional owner, you don't have that story in that land. And a lot of people need to be treated with more respect on their countries, and I think the employees of those businesses need to be reminded by the employer how they should be talking to the traditional owner of that area. You know, so I'm saying what I see in the mix is missing is really cultural awareness for the partners that are coming in to talk with the traditional owners. And I'd just like to see that happen more.
Okay.
Thanks anyway.
Thank you, Neville. And
I don't have a question.
Just before, I wondered if Professor Tembre, you might like to make a quick comment, just a very quick 2-minute comment on your research on this topic.
No, absolutely. Just to try to tie it in with what I was talking about and what I didn't get to finish, clearly the ability to establish the connections at various levels, local, regional, and national, the broader region, is part of the challenge, and the ability to actually balance the interest in that way. And I think that, I mean, without referring into the 3 spheres or to the nature of the diversity of views, I think there is a clear sense that the landscape approach was an attempt to address that, and obviously it's fairly recent, and the whether or not it is making a difference in changing that balance. I've always, and I hope I won't get into trouble for saying that, but the same thing with the heartfelt feeling that everyone has towards, for instance, the rock and the climb and all that, which transpires everywhere, tourist experience and management, people in the industry, and researchers. And I've always, as I said, sometimes I get a bit of trouble for that. Really one of the most, I think, meaningful challenge at the end of the day, when I look at Uluru and the importance of that place, its people, its landscape, and the lack of connection or difference apparent to us, and it's not something very tangible. It has made a difference in the life of the people around it, and you can look at it narrowly, but in Uluru you can look at the whole region, is, to me, an even bigger picture item that is, some people consider as a scandal. I don't think it's a scandal. I think everyone is striving to do the same thing, but I think it is really the most important type of thing that we're trying to address. And that's how I'm thinking about the landscape approach.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for the comments, and let's put our hands together for the speakers. Thank you very much.